Again, today we are working on multiplying whole numbers, so you should be copying your notes as I walk around the classroom. So we are still multiplying whole numbers. Okay. And you are copying notes. Okay, multiplying whole numbers. I wish I had a better pen, but this is what I have to write with. Multiplying whole numbers. Okay. So today there's no excuse for not taking notes, because you can write faster than I can write on this thing. So multiplying whole numbers. Alright, so please turn your books. So we are going to we're going to be working from pages 70 to 71, and this time we're going to be working with the textbooks. Okay, so right under your chair you see a textbook. Please remove your textbooks from underneath your chairs. Today we are going to be working with our textbooks. Okay, working with our textbooks today. Alright, so again, pages 70 to 71 from your textbooks. Alright, so let's look at, before you even multiply, I think it would be a good idea to estimate. So number one, we are estimating. You should write this down. Okay, so we want to estimate. Alright, so we're going to be estimating. So estimating products. Estimating products. Alright, this right here is supposed to be a U, not a Y. So estimating product and then multiplying. Estimating product and then multiplying. That should be a MULT, multiplying. Okay, so estimating product and then multiplying. I think I'm gonna probably see if I can use my fingers here on this. So we want to first estimate 237 times 380. Okay, so we're estimating this. 237 times 380. And that's again in your textbook. That's number 1 in your textbook on page 70. So if we want to estimate this, let's estimate it to the nearest hundreds. So this would be the same as 200 multiplied by 400. So 200 multiplied by 400. And if you look here, you'll notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So I say 2 times 4 is 8. So 2 times 4 is 8. And I want to count my 4 zeros. Okay? So this is a trick with multiplying by numbers ending in zeros. So again, 2 times 4 or 4 times 2 would give us 8. And I count my zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. And of course, that's 80,000. So I know that when I do this product, my answer should be close to 80,000. Alright? So my answer should be close to 80,000 when I do this product. Alright, so I'll just give you a minute to copy that. If I'm going too slow, you can actually move on to the actual, to finding the actual product. Okay? And this again was number 1 in your textbook. So we're estimating products and then multiplying to find the actual product. Okay. So I think we should be finished by now. Alright, so let me erase this. Okay, we're still on page 70. Okay, so we're still on page 70. Okay, so we want to work on 237 multiplied by 380. Alright, so we know that 0 times 7 is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 times 2 is also 0. And now we can go to the second row. 8 times 7 we know is going to give us 8 sevens is going to give us 56. So I put a 6 down and I carry over the 5. I carry the 5. Right? And now I do. Now notice I leave this space here open, or I can actually put a 0 for placeholder. Okay? So that's placeholder. Alright, so just remind you about why we have that. Anyway, so back to the second row. We have, again, 8 times 7 is 56. So we put down the 6 and we carry over the 5. And we have 8 times 3 is 24, and 5, that would be 29. So we put down the 9 and we carry the 2. And so we have 8 times 2 would give us 16, and 16 and another 2 would give us 18. Alright? Now we can go, we find that we are going into our third line, and I'll do that in black. So we are down to 3. I want to now notice every time I go down, I go further over. So this time I have a 0 here and a 0 here. Okay, so these are all, these zeros in red, they are all placeholders, all right? They are all placeholders. And so now I can start. So 3 times 7 is going to be 21, right? So I put down the 1 and I carry a 2. Okay, so I'm erasing that 5 and put a 2 there. And now I know also that 3 times 3 is 9 and 2, that would give me 11. So I put a 1 down and I want to carry over the 1 from 11. Again, 3 times 3 is 9. And the 2 that were carried over made it 11. I put a 1 and I carry a 1 over. And finally I get here now where I have 3 times 2 is going to be 6 and 1 gives us 7. Okay, so 6 and 1, that gives us 7. And so now I can add everything. Okay, so now I can add everything. And so I'm going to add. Alright, when I add, you can see zeros add together give me all zeros. 0 and 6 and 0 gives me 6. 1 and 9, that would give me 10, so I put down the 0 and I want to carry the 1. And 8 and 1 is going to be 9, and the 1 that I carry over give me 10, so I put a 0 down and I carry another 1. And now 7 and 1 is 8, and that 1 that I carried over give me 9. And if I'm correct, my answer is 90,060. My answer is 90,060. All right? So that is my answer, 90,060. And you can check on me to see if I am correct. I want to actually check the answer to see if I didn't make any mistakes. Okay, so if you didn't catch any mistakes, then I think that I must have been correct. Alright, so I'm giving you a minute to copy that down. And I'm just checking my answer. 237 times 380 is indeed 90,060. So we are correct. So this should be written down in your notebooks. Alright, we are going to, that's one example. Some of you might need another example. So I'm going to work on example 3. So I'm doing the odd numbers here. I'm going to work at example 3. Again, I'm coming around, I'm walking around while this is going on to make sure that you're copying notes and to see if you're having any struggles. Alright? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to be doing, still on page 70, I'm going to be working on example number 3. Okay, so number 3, we want to do an estimate. So a good estimate for number 3, a good estimate would be, again, going to the hundreds. So I can do 800 multiplied by 600, right? Rounding to the nearest hundreds. And so I'll get 8 times 6 is going to be, we know 8 times 6 is 48. Alright? And I count my zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. And so my estimate is that my answer should be close to 480,000. So let me do the actual multiplication now. So pay attention while I do this. So again, I start out with 817, and I'm multiplying that by 609. Okay, so I'm multiplying that by 609. So I know I do 9 times 7 would just give me 63, right? 9, 7, 63. And I want to carry over, I want to put the 3 down and carry over the 6. All right? So I do that, and I'm going to have 9 times 1 is just going to be 9, and 6, 15. So I'm going to put down the 5. I'm going to put down the 5, and I'm actually going to carry over the 1. Okay? I'm going to carry over the 1. So now I'm going to do 9 times 8, and I know 9 times 8 is 72. So I'm going to put down the 2. Well, I have 72, so all I have to do now is just add the 1 to 72. So I add the 1 to 72. That's all I need. Okay, so I add 1 to 72 and I get 73. All right, so now I go to this, do the second column, all zeros. So 0 times everything is 0. Notice here that before I go ahead, I'm going to put a 0 as a placeholder, right? So that 0 is a placeholder. Okay, so that 0 is a placeholder. Okay, and I'm going to write the actual zeros from my multiplication in red. So 0 times 7 is just 0. 0 times 1 is just 0. 0 times 8 is just 0. All right? And I need to go over an extra line. So let me actually erase this line. I'm going to need a space. So I'm going to erase that line, and I'm going to draw it over. All right, I'm going to need that line there. Okay. In fact, let me just erase that whole thing here so that it doesn't confuse you. All right, you should have written that already. All right, so now I'm going to go to the third row. Okay, the third row. So I need some other placeholders also. So I'm going to use these placeholders. I need, since I'm going down one more step below. This time I had one placeholder before. Now I need 2 placeholders to the 0. And those are the ones that I have in green. So this time I need 2 placeholders. And so I'm going to write that in, let me do this now in, why don't I use blue? Okay, so 6 times 7 is going to be, 6 sevens is 42. So I'm going to put a 2 down. And I'm going to carry the 4. So I put a 2 down and I carry a 4 right there. Okay, so 6 times 1 is 6, and 4, 10. And 4, 10. So I'm going to put a 0 down and I'm going to carry the 1. Okay, so the 1 that I carried is just, I had 1 before, that was just coincidental. So now I do 6 times 8 is going to be 48. And 48, and the 1 that I carried is going to give me 49, all right? I hope you're paying attention to that. And so now I can add everything, right? If I add everything that I have, what do I end up with here? I'm going to end up with the answer 3 and 0 plus another 0, that's just still going to be 3. 5 and 0, that's just going to be 5. 3 plus 0 plus 2, that's going to be 5 again. 0 and 7 plus 0 plus 0, that's just going to be 7. And the 49 I have nothing to add to. Alright, so my answer is 497,553, which is very close to our estimate of 480,000. And again, I'm going to check my answer. So 817,000 times 609, and indeed that is 497,553. So we are correct. All right, so we are correct. What I want you to do for now, I want you to do, so you are going to be doing some problems while I come and check. So I want you to do, you do, okay? While you're copying this here, those of you who are still copying, I want the rest of you to do numbers, I would say numbers 7 to 12. Do as much as you can from numbers 7 to 12. So you're going to be doing numbers 7 to 12, okay? You're doing numbers 7 to 12. All right, so enjoy. Enjoy.